A quick heads up before we dive into today's episode. If you're a coach and you're craving more clarity and calm when it comes to client attraction, I'd love to invite you to a free live training session that I'm hosting on February the 24th. It's called the Life First Client Attraction Framework, and I'll be walking you through a practical 4-step roadmap to help you build a calm, repeatable, sustainable marketing and sales system so you can attract and sign clients without the hustle or burnout. You'll find the link to register in the show notes, so make sure you head there to save your seat, and we'll dive into today's episode. Using AI in your business is one of those things that feels like potentially a great opportunity, but also for a lot of coaches flags up a lot of questions about how to do it effectively, how to do it so that it doesn't take away from your authenticity and your integrity and your ethics. So today we're going to dive into some of the key things that I have found have helped me use AI effectively, balance it in my business, and the way I implement it to help me with the parts of my business that aren't truly my zone of genius and the things that I love to do. So if you've been thinking about how to implement AI in your business or do it more efficiently and effectively, this episode is for you. Welcome to the Life First Coaching Business Podcast, where ambitious, purpose-led coaches trade hustle and burnout for simplicity, freedom, and clients who light them up. I'm Leonie, ex-architect and business owner turned business coach. If you're craving a business that feels spacious, joyful, and actually fun, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll be diving into the strategies, the systems, and the mindset you need to make your coaching business work for you. So let's dive in. Hello and welcome to today's episode. As I said, I'm going to be talking all about ways to use AI in your business, some of the key things that can really help you to do it in a way that feels value aligned and efficient and effective for you in your business. Now, when I say using AI, I am predominantly talking about using a chat like ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude. I personally use ChatGPT. I have also used Gemini in the past. I know lots of people really love Claude, so you can find the one that works for you and you feel you get the best responses from. But when I say AI, that's what I'm talking about today. You will have heard a lot of people talk about if you don't get on the AI bandwagon, you're going to get left behind. It's really important. It's the future and all of those things. And that can feel quite pressure-ridden. I do think as well, it's such fast-moving technology and it's changing so rapidly. It is quite terrifying in a way, but also I think there is going to be some resistance to it in terms of people feeling like, well, I want things that are created by humans. I kind of think of it like when you go to a shop and you buy something that's handmade, we're going to be wanting things that are brain-made. So you really want to make sure that anything you're putting out still has the essence of you, your thinking, your creativity, your personal stories, the way that you would speak to people. But when we're running our businesses on our own and there's so many moving parts and so many different things to do, for 99% of us, we would rather spend our time doing the work that really impacts our clients, the stuff that people are paying us for, and the things to market our business. When there's a way to speed that up and make that more time and energy efficient, it is something that you want to look into because it can unlock a lot of your time and energy for other things in your business. So there's lots to think about there. It's about finding what feels right for you and how much you want to embrace using this technology in your business. But if you are wearing all the hats and feeling overwhelmed, I have found ways to use it and systems that have helped take a lot of load off me, which is very helpful when we're solopreneurs and wearing all the hats. So we'll dive into some ways I have implemented that in my own business so you can take those things away and think about using them for yourself or adapting them. The first thing I'll say is the way to approach using something like ChatGPT in your business is really as an assistant, someone who is assisting you and not thinking for you. So it's more of a thought organizer. It's really good at taking your ideas and your brain dumps and turning it into something with more order and more organization so that you can use it. It helps you to clarify what you're trying to say and can help you formulate ideas into something cohesive. much more quickly than you can do yourself. And that's the way I really like to focus on it as an organizer of my thoughts. Definitely not to outsource any of my thinking, my ideas, my brand voice, or anything like that. So the way I approach it is I like to think of it as a 20-60-20 rule. What that looks like is the first 20% of anything is me. It's my thinking, my point of view, my lived experience, my brain dump, my messy notes, my voice memos. And then that middle 60% is where I use ChatGPT to help organize things, structure things, tighten things up, make sure things flow. So if this is a piece of content, it's turning those ideas into a usable format quickly. And then that final 20% is me again, editing it, adding nuance, making sure it sounds human, doing an integrity check, like, is this what I want to say? And that approach for me feels very clear and usable, and it helps me to see where I'm using AI to speed things up without losing my human touch on things. So that has really helped me do things more quickly, do things more efficiently, and taking less energy from myself. I would say, I'm an ideas person. I have lots of thoughts. I love sharing my ideas, my knowledge, but that bit of pulling it together can often be the bit that really sucks time. And the thing that's really, really important, and particularly if you know how much energy it uses when you are using AI compared to, say, Googling something. So if you're just looking for information, it doesn't seem ethically great to search in ChatGPT versus searching in Google. So there is something to be thought about the efficiency of it versus the energy that it takes. You want to use it in a way that you feel like you're being careful, you're being efficient. And the way that I approach doing that is making sure the prompts that I'm putting in are good. I'm making sure I'm providing the right context and enough context, and I'm being very specific about the outcomes I want to get back. The more specific context and valuable context you put in, the better responses you're going to get out. So this is really the crux of how you want to use ChatGPT or any of these kinds of platforms, is really getting good at prompting it. And what that looks like, first of all, particularly, let's say our focus here is on creating marketing content or sales content or any kind of content in our business. You really want to be making sure you're being very specific on feeding it what that piece of content is for, what you want it to do, who it's for, what kind of language and tone and voice is it you want to use, what the goals are of it, and what you're expecting from the outcome. How long do you want that piece of content to be? How detailed do you want it to be? Don't give me all the how and the why, just give me the piece of content, or don't give me more than one option. Because often I find that it will sort of give you 3 options. Like, here's an option, here's a shorter option. And that's taking up more energy. So making sure the way you prompt it is really informative, gives it enough information to give you what you need in one go, instead of you having to go back and forth. That is really important. Now, what I help my clients do inside my Launch Kit program is create a document that has all the key context about their business, their messaging, their ideal client, really nuanced stuff about the language and the tone, so that they can use that for their own reference. But also, if they're using ChatGPT, they can teach it everything it needs to know to be able to give them really good content back or really good responses. So what you really want to do is have an account that you only use for your business and teach it that context. Make sure it knows all that context about your business so it can give you really good content back. That's a key part of what I help my clients do in the Launch Kits. And that's one of the key ways I help them to take that life first approach to their marketing and sales by using AI in an efficient and effective way, and take that 20-60-20 approach. So we're always putting in the human side of it at either end, and using it to help speed up that time-draining middle section of the work. So you really want to think about informing it with your brand voice, information about your ideal client, information about your business values, your offer, all that important context. Make sure you're putting really clear, direct, detailed prompts and telling it specifically what you want out on the other side. And the more specific you can be with that, the less chance there is you're going to be going back and forth, which plays an important role in that task of using AI responsibly, using it with integrity and thinking about how efficient you're being so that you're not using too much energy when you're using it, because it is energy intensive and there is an environmental cost, and we want to be mindful of that all the time. And you've got to find a place that sits right for you and think about what's the alternative, where can I balance that in my own life and in my own business, and how can I sit with that in a comfortable way. So one key way is the way you're using it, the way you're prompting it, and being mindful about the times you use it and how it's helping you in your business, and not just using it willy-nilly, really being intentional. So then what it's important to think about is AI cannot replace you. It cannot replace your thoughts, your points of view, your lived experience, your intuition, your relationship with your audience, the community you've built. But it can help you be more efficient in the parts of your business that aren't the bits that you want to focus most of your energy on. That's where it can change the game for you in terms of freeing up your time and creating simple systems. So thinking about those regular marketing actions that you're doing in your business and thinking about where are ways that I can use this to speed up that process and do that middle 60% for me and free up much more of my time, whether that's writing captions, helping to pull together your emails, helping to draft your content plan, things like that. That's where you can really see it helping you speed up some of those processes. And I think we have to be so mindful of not thinking, I'll just use this as a way to do more, because that's always our default. It's like, well, I've got this tool now, so I'm just going to work for as many hours on this thing, but do more. This will allow me to do more. And I really try to pull myself out of that way of thinking and use it to make me more efficient in the things I was already doing, and thinking, how can I do less but do it more efficiently in a more focused way and make sure those actions are really intentional is definitely the foundation of a life first business. So keep that in mind as well, because I think it is tempting to see it as this tool that can allow you to do more if you're that way inclined. So I hope that helps you see some useful things that you can actually apply when you're using ChatGPT. And if you want to go deeper on how you could actually start implementing this in your business, building systems that use AI in an intentional way, that's definitely something I can talk about working with you on in your business. I've done it myself. I've helped other clients do it as well. So please get in touch with me if that is something you're thinking about and you're looking for some support and guidance with that. But otherwise, I would love to invite you to something free I'm hosting at the end of February, where we will dive into how to make sure you've got those foundational elements really solid in your business, so the work you're doing to market and sell is really effective. It's called the Life First Client Attraction Framework, and I'll be walking you through a 4-step process to build a calm, repeatable, sustainable client attraction system in your business. So I would love to see you there. I'll include the link to sign up in the show notes, or jump over onto Instagram, send me a message, and I'll share the link with you there. I hope this has been helpful. Get in touch and let me know. I'd love to know where your thinking is around AI. Is it something you're using? Do you feel like you could be using it better? Is there anything you'd love for me to go a bit deeper on the podcast? Please get in touch and let me know. And as always, share this with another coach who would find it helpful. And I'll chat to you again next week. Take care.